بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، والحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على رسول الكريم، وبعد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. هذه هي الحلقة الرابعة لمادة اللغة الإنجليزية للمستوى السادس في قسم الدعوة والاحتساب لطلاب وطالبات الانتساب المطور. وهذه الحلقة إن شاء الله سوف تبدأ بعنوان Focus on Writing. Focus on Writing. طبعا في كل 4 دروس يكون الدرس الرابع Focus on Writing. سوف نحاول التركيز على الرايتنج، كيف نستفيد من الدرس باستخدامه بالرايتنج. Focus on writing. So if we go to your book, open your book, page 105. If you read, focus on writing. Number A, style, writing an opinion essay. If you go to the next slide, can you read with me? Style, writing an opinion essay. Number 1, tourists in a fragile land is an opinion essay. How is an opinion essay different from other types of writing you have done? How is it organized? What do you think makes an opinion essay effective? So of course, opinion essay means that somebody wrote his opinion about something. So opinion essays, the opinion of someone, right? So this is an opinion essay. So we just say tourist in a fragile land is an opinion essay. So how is an opinion essay different from other types of writing you have done? How is it organized? What do you think makes an opinion essay effective? So this is an exercise here. Just try to read the essay one by one, and try sentence by sentence and idea by idea, and to come up with the meaning of opinion essay. So let's just read the next one, the same page. An essay is a piece of writing that has more than 1 or 2 paragraphs and is organized in a scientific way. An opinion essay expresses an opinion about something. There are 3 important parts of a good opinion essay. Number 1, the introductory paragraph. And of course, this paragraph introduces the topic by giving general statements. These statements catch the reader's attention. They may tell about the importance of the subject, give background information. The last sentence of the paragraph contains the thesis statement. The thesis statement is like the topic sentence of a paragraph. It gives the specific topic and the main idea of the essay. In an opinion essay, it states the writer's opinion about the topic. So this is the meaning. This is the definition of introductory paragraph. If we just also continue, we say the body. This is page 106. The body of that essay. The body is the part of essay that explains or supports the main idea in the thesis statement. The writer gives reasons, examples, explanations, and facts to show why he or she believes something. Believes something. Also, it can be the one paragraph, but it is usually more than one. Each paragraph of the body has a topic sentence, of course, and supporting details. And last part of the essay is called the concluding paragraph. The concluding paragraph restates the main idea of the thesis statement. It also can contain a summary of the supporting details in the body, make prediction about the future, or make suggestions for the future. So this is very important information here. So try to focus on the meaning of all these. By the way, the introductory paragraph, the body, and the concluding paragraph, these are the main parts of any academic essay. Usually you have introduction, we have conclusion, and in the middle, of course, we have the body paragraph. Sometimes you have 1 paragraph, sometimes you have 2, sometimes you have 3, sometimes you have more. So it depends on the paragraph type. So if we have a lot of information, if we have more than one idea, of course, we will have more paragraphs. If we have one idea, we have one paragraph. We have two, we have two paragraphs. If we have three ideas, we'll have three paragraphs. Because each paragraph of the body paragraph should have one idea. Each paragraph should have one idea, and of course, it should have only one topic sentence. So it's very important to differentiate between the types of paragraphs and the types of essay. So as the author here said, this is example of an opinion essay. So of course, most academic essay, most of the academic essays, they have the same, classification. We have introduction or introductory paragraph. We have body. Sometimes we have 1, 2, or 3 paragraphs, and also we have the conclusion or concluding paragraph. Therefore, we have 3, of course, sections in any academic essay. So introduction, body, paragraph or paragraphs, and conclusion. So these are the meaning. So we have exercise on page 106. Refer to the tourist in the fragile land to complete the following tasks. The introduction, find the thesis statement, copy it here. So based on the information that you have learned in this exercise, so please try to complete this exercise number 2, because this is the only exercise, so I need you to complete this exercise just using the information that we explained. So find the introduction and find the body and also find the conclusion. Find the conclusion. This is very important. If you just know the difference between introduction, body, and conclusion, that means that this is the first step to write a good academic essay. A good academic essay. Now we move to the next part, which is the next slide. We have grammar, past, progressive, and simple past. Past, progressive, and simple past. So it's very important to know the difference between past, progressive, and simple past. By the way, the most important 2 parts in this book, just grammar and vocabulary. Grammar and vocabulary. So here, number 1, if you read number 1, read these sentences based on a travel journal. Look at the underlined verbs. What is the difference between the verb form in the sentence? Notice the bold-faced words. How are the meanings of when and while different? So try to focus on when and while. So for example, number 1, we were laughing like children when we reached the top of a snowy point 160 meters above sea level. Then the sunlight was shining so brightly when our plane flew over the Andes mountains. Last one, we were drinking tea while we were crossing the Antarctic Circle. Therefore, we have here while and when. So if you notice here, with when we use the past tense. With while we use the past, of course, progressive, past progressive. So just try to know the difference between when and while here. And of course, we have here in the same page 108, we have a good rule here: past progressive and simple past. So if we go to the next slide, past progressive and simple past. So use the simple past tense to talk about actions, states, and situations in the past that are finished. The simple past tense of regular verbs is formed by adding d or ed to the base form of the verb. Seabirds followed the ship closely. So we have here simple past tense, which is followed. Also number two, use the past progressive, also called past continuous. So we have 2 names here: past progressive and past continuous, to describe a continuous non-stop action that was in progress at a specific time in the past. Examples of specific time include yesterday, last night, at that time. The past progressive is formed like this: be, past plus verb plus ing. For example, the sunlight was shining. So we have shining here is past progressive or past continuous. Shining too brightly on the, on the glossaries. So we have here the past progressive or past continuous. For example, we have shining, which we have, we have ing here. Also, if we go to next one, number 3, use the past progressive with the simple past tense to talk about an action, that was interrupted by another action. Use the simple past tense for the interrupting action. Use when to introduce the simple past tense action. So we have here, we were laughing like children when we reached the top. So we used past progressive with the simple past here in this sentence, right? Because just to talk about an action that was interrupted by another action. Use the simple past. We use the simple past tense for the interrupting action, and we use when to introduce the simple past tense. Usually, simple past tense is connected to the word when, right? So let's move to the next one. Number 4. If you put the when clause first, you must put a comma at the end of the clause. So, for example, here we have when we reached the top, comma, we were laughing like children, right? So if we put the when at the beginning, of course we should put the comma in the middle of the sentence. We would put the comma at the end of the clause. We put a comma, of course. We put when clause first, and then you must put a comma at. We put number 4. When we reached the top, we were laughing like children. So if you put the when clause first, you must put a comma at the end of the clause, and then of course we start the next one. So we're going to the next slide, which is number 5. Use the past progressive with while to describe two actions in progressive at the same time in the past. For example, we were drinking tea while we were crossing the Antarctic Circle. Also, the simple past can also be used in the while clause without changing the meaning. So, for example, we can use while or when. We were drinking tea while we crossed the Antarctic Circle. So we can use either one, past progressive or simple past, as we have here in example number 5. Example number 5. So always try to know the difference between past progressive and simple past. So we have very important two types of tenses, which are past progressive and simple past. So the simple past can also be used in the while clause without changing the meaning. And we were drinking, for example, we were drinking tea while we crossed the Antarctic Circle. So this is very important rule. We conclude this one by that one. Okay, by this rule, which is very important, that we can replace the ing verb with ed verb. We now go to the next exercise, which is exercise number 2. Complete the sentences below with the words in parentheses. Use the simple past or past progressive. Write the new sentences on the line. So, for example, here we have number 1. Mark was studying the amount of trash created by tourists in Antarctic when. Then you just need to complete this sentence. So the author or the writer here, he just completed the sentence for us. So Mark was studying the amount of trash created by tourists in Antarctica when he became sick. So we just use when, and then we just complete the sentence as it should be completed. So this is number 1. Try to read number 2 and try to come up with the answer. For example, here, number 2, we have the biologists were taking showers while, so you just need to complete this exercise here. So we might say the biologists were taking showers while we were eating lunch. As we said before, usually we have ing verb. We have ing verb with while. So usually you have past tense with when and ing verb with, of course, while. So this is for number 2. So it's very important to know the difference between while and when. Also, if we go to slide number 3, I cried when, just try to complete this sentence. I cried when, you might say, I cried when I got off the boat. When I got off the boat, so you say, I cried when I got off the boat. So this is also very easy exercise. Just now we go to exercise number 4. Exercise number 4. By the way, the more exercises you do, the more English you learn. The more exercises you do, the more words you know and learn. The more exercises do also, the more grammar you understand and you know. Now we go to number 4. Many sailors lost their lives while, then just complete the sentence. Here we have they tried to sail around South America, right? So try to complete number 4. Here we might say many sailors lost their lives while they were trying to sail around South America. So here also try to use, since we have here, we have while. Usually we use with while, we have ing, and we use with when, we use past tense, which is ed. So try to differentiate between the use of while and the use of when. It's very important, and these words are very common in English. You might use them a lot in your speaking, in your writing, and you might see them while you read, and also while you listen to something, to a TV or a movie or something. You will listen most of these words like when, while, and the difference between these two words. So just try to complete this exercise. Do number 5, 6 as a homework. As I mentioned before, the more exercises that you do, the more grammar you know. The more exercises you do, the more words you learn. The more exercises you do, the more English you learn. So please try to learn more words in here and try to practice them one by one. Okay? So these are very important words and very useful words, as I mentioned before. So try to use them one by one. Now we go to the next slide. Think about the last time you took a vacation, or the last time you went somewhere in a group. What were you doing? What were other people doing? On a separate piece of paper, write 2 sentences with while and 2 sentences with when. So we have here very important exercise here. We have very important exercise. So try to just take out a piece of paper. Try to write 2 sentences. Think about the last time you took a vacation, or the last time you went somewhere in a group. What were you doing? What were other people doing? Just try to describe what you did and what others did also. So in a separate piece of paper, write 2 sentences with while and 2 sentences with when. So please try to come up with, just remember any place that you visited, even last week or the week before or last, summer, or, any time you went away from your home. So, and then try to describe that time, that experience, and of course you need to focus on these 2 words, using while and when. So these are very important, as I mentioned before. These are very important 2 types of grammar, using when and while. So use them in 2 or 3 sentences for each, and remember that with when we usually have the past tense, which is ed tense, and with the while we use the ing or present past progressive or past continuous. So therefore, try to come up with those ideas, with those sentences, using those 2 forms of grammar, which are while, and when, and try to use just real examples. For example, if you, for example, last week, if you visited the sea, for example, you might say, I, played football when I was in the beach, for example. Or you might say, I saw my friend when I was playing football, for example. So you might just try to use these two forms, which are when and while, and of course in a sentence, and try to focus on the difference between them, that we use the ed with the when, and the ing with the while all the time. So these are very important rule of grammars. So in this lesson, for our lesson today, we studied when, while, how can we use them in a sentence, and also how can we write a story or our experience using those two types of words or of grammar rules. Also we studied past progressive or past continuous and simple past. So what's the difference between them? When can we use simple past, and when we can use past progressive, and also sometimes we can use the simple past can also be used in the while clause without changing the meaning. Therefore, try to make sure that you understand all the rules that you study in this book, and all the grammar, of course, lessons that you study in this course, and also all the words that you learned in this course, and of course to try to use them in your daily life. So for example, if you just, for example, today we went through very good style of writing. For example, how to write an essay. For example, we went through how to write an essay, and the types of essay, and we have what's the sections of an essay. We have introduction paragraph, we have body paragraph, which can be 1, 2, or 3 paragraphs, and also we have the conclusion paragraph, which is also very important that we should have the conclusion there. So please, everybody, try to pay attention to this book. I think that this book is very useful. I think this book is very easy at the same time, and also I think this book is very clear. As long as you have the rule here, as long as you have the words here, as long as you have the exercises here, I think it will be so easy for everybody just to read the exercise, understand the exercise, solve the exercise, and use the grammar that he learned in his daily life. And also he can read, or she can read the words, understand the meaning of those words, using they can use the meaning of those words in a sentence, or in a paragraph, or in an essay even. And then try to just practice them one by one, and by the time you can use them very easily. So for example, we went through the difference between when and while. When can we use while? When can we use when? And what's the form? What's the style? Is there a comma? Is there a period? So how the verb should like. So therefore, these are very important exercise for everybody, and I think that we should follow them. And of course, if you have any question, if you read them, if you understand them one by one, it will be easy for you. It will be very flexible for everybody. Your knowledge of English will be more. It will be you will increase your knowledge. You will increase your vocabulary. You will increase your grammar. Lessons. It will be easy for you to speak, to write, listen, and read English. Of course, this is the end of this lesson, which is this is the fourth lesson for us. This is the fourth lesson for us. So we should just revise them. We should do all exercises. For example, writing topics. This is very important. You choose just do it in page 110, and also research topic. Also do these exercises as a homework. If you do more homework, if you do more exercises, it will be easy for you. It will be good for you. And that's all for our meeting today. وكان هذا هو التمرين، هو آخر تمرين للحلقة الرابعة، وإلى اللقاء في الحلقة القادمة إن شاء الله. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.